Chapter 8 A Competition. Something pressed into Lanoya's side, and she moaned. The awful taste of the stuff Selena had given her still lingered on her tongue. Someone patted her arm. 2 suns is long enough. In bed. Get up. Teacher Lord Humby is annoyed by your absence. Lanoya eased open one eye. Who are you? A crinkly old woman with white hair sat on the bed. The woman smiled. I am Teacher Lady Talia. I am the teacher of healers. Selena gave you a bit too much elixir. She seemed to think you would not rest unless forced to do so. Teacher Lady Talia groaned and stood up. Come on, if my old bones can still move me around, your young ones should have no trouble. Lanoya stretched and yawned. Her jaw was still tender, but it no longer hurt too much to open. Movement in her wrist was still painful and limited by the cloth wrapped around it. Teacher Lady Talia, her mind was still fuzzy. That name means something. Her eyes popped open. You are the woman that insists that I have an aunt. Lady Talia smiled. My dear, I have made many trips to Thayer's. I have helped all the young women bring their children into the land. To my knowledge, they have no orphans there, although one child was left to be raised by her aunt. Lanoya stumbled out of bed. You are wrong. I am from Thayer's, and I have no aunt, no parents, no family. I live alone in my alley with my blanket. Teacher Lady Talia shrugged. Then you did not originate in Thayer's. I am sorry, dear. Someone must have left you there. She pointed at the chest of clothes. No point dwelling on it. Get yourself dressed. Teacher Lord Humby and the other learners with powers of an imitator are waiting in the corridor by the painting you tore. The old woman tottered out of the room. Lanoya bit her lip. I was not born in Thayer's? I was left there with my blanket? Why would... Tears leaked from her eyes, and she sniffled. It does not matter. No one wants me. Not my parents, not the villagers, and not these teachers. No one. I almost feel connected to this place, with its odd tapestries, hidden room, and curious circles of stones. Too bad staying means dealing with these people. I liked it better when I was left alone with my blanket in my alley. At least that was familiar, and I knew what to expect. Maybe I can still sneak out of here with some drawing supplies and go home to my alley, or find some better place to live. She opened the chest of clothes. A blue dress lay on top. It wrapped around her like a cloak and buttoned down the front. It hung from her shoulders, and there was enough room for at least 2 of her. At least the yellow sleep dress will keep me warm. I do not understand why they insist I put on these big baggy clothes. There were some braided leather ties hanging from the inside of There were some braided leather ties hanging from the inside lid of the chest. Lanoya shook her head. Leathers, that is what got me here in the first place. That stupid boy is why I'm here, wearing a blanket for a dress. My old, worn-out blanket worked better than this silly thing. My blanket was the only thing that's been with me all the seasons of my life. I feel as though someone left it to keep me safe and warm, and now it is gone. She cried and tied the leathers around the dress to hold it in place. I want my own clothes and my blanket. She glanced at the room and wiped her cheeks with her hands. This place is nicer and warmer than the alley. There's more food here. I wish there were not so many people. I wish they did not insist I follow rules I do not understand. I would prefer to sleep during the sun, and they will not allow that either. Lanoya stepped out of her room. The learners from the classroom with the drawing supplies stood in front of the old painting. Teacher Lord Humby stood behind them. She spied a door in the opposite direction. Maybe it leads to the outside, and I can leave this place after all. She inched toward the exit. The energy burned inside her. The torn drawing appeared closer and closer. The layers of paint, the torn cloth, the individual threads, the sloppy stitch job, failing to hold it together, beckoned to Lanoya. There was power in that drawing. I wonder why I did not see it before. Lanoya reached out her hand and rubbed her thumb across the bumpy thread, tying up the torn canvas. She did not realize she had traversed the hallway until Teacher Lord Humby's voice bellowed in her ears. So you have come to survey the damage you caused. He pointed a shanky finger towards the patched-up tear. The repair is temporary. The drawing itself will have to be replaced. Lanoya stared at the ground. I did not mean to damage it. It was an accident. How was I supposed to know there were stairs behind the door? Besides, I came to fix it, if that is possible, or at least remove the wretched stitches that do not match at all. The old coot droned on. The teachers of powers have decided a new tapestry will be hung here. It will also look like the wall, and only those with the power of an imitator will know differently. Since my hands shake with age and my ability to draw has diminished, I am unable to perform this task. However, my eye for excellent work has not. Therefore, I task each of you to draw a replacement. The best one will be hung here for anyone in the chapel to see. The winner will become my apprentice and the future teacher of imitators. He waved his shaky old hand in the air. Off you go. Sketch me your masterpieces. Lanoya recalled how Lord Humby was with the paint and brushes, so she tapped the shoulder of one of the only other girl there. What are we allowed to draw with? The girl scoffed. I am Lady Elisa. My family pays for my drawing supplies. The only position that holds more respect than that of a lady is a teacher of power, unless, of course, one is the ruler of the kingdom. Since I cannot be a ruler and I possess the power of an imitator, my family expects me to replace Teacher Lord Humby. If you do not have something to draw with, you will have to ask your family or the person responsible for you to provide you with the proper supplies. Lanoya stared up at her. He hates me. And Lady Elisa shook her head. Teacher Lord Humby is that way with everyone. He is worse to the ones with the more talent. This is a competition. I saw what you were painting for Lady Edwina. I will not assist you in any way, especially if it means you will best me. She turned and walked away. Teacher Lord Humby's hand oscillated back and forth on Lanoya's shoulder. The most talented learners I have seen always leave and waste their talent because they do not care for the work. Those with limited talent like the work stay and become better than the ones that wasted it. Which one are you going to be? Lanoya peered at him. I have to create. It is the only thing I know how to do. It is the one thing I have found that makes life enjoyable, if only for a moment. The old lord's laugh turned into a cough. A powerful imitator that loves the work. I give you a moon, 2 at the most. He wobbled across the hall and beckoned Lanoya to follow him back into the drawing room. The other children had blank canvases on the tables in front of them. Lanoya searched for an empty table. There were none. Teacher Lord Humby's shaky finger pointed to a white cloth hung on an easel by the paintbrushes. Teacher Lord Alon provided that for you to use. You can thank him later. Lanoya stared up at him. Teacher Lord Alon? The old man from the palace? I'm not thanking him for anything, but I would like to take that easel downstairs with a candle so I can draw those stones. May I work elsewhere? One of the boys taunted her. You can draw in here. No one wants to copy your work. However, we can burn it for you when you realize it is the worst thing anyone has drawn. Lanoya shook her head. Just like all the villagers, and he supposedly has the same power or energy that I have. He has no appreciation for it. None of them do. Teacher Lord Humby blocked the exit. The canvas is cut to the same size as the old painting. You may take it somewhere more suitable if you wish. However, only the brushes were left for you. The paint and the other supplies are shared with all the learners. You will need to either make your own or figure out a way to share with everyone else. You have 2 sons to complete a replacement drawing. Lanoya grabbed the canvas off the easel and wanted to draw the stone. I want to draw the stones, not a stupid wall. She bit her lower lip. If I can make the canvas look like the wall, then I will have the perfect place to live where no one can interrupt me. There has to be extra food in the kitchen. I can sneak in there and eat in the even when all these people are sleeping. She smiled and searched the room for some wood. 2 long, smooth sticks lay against the back wall. Lanoya carried the canvas and the wood into the corridor. She placed the sticks at either end of the canvas and rolled it up like a scroll. That should keep it from getting too dirty, and it won't get wrinkled or creased like the ones folded on the tables. Now to figure out what colors I need. She examined the grayish-white bricks and sandy mortar, holding them together. The light is all wrong. The shadow is not natural. She left her rolled-up cloth and scurried outside to view the bricks in a different light. White bricks with sparkles or specks that twinkle when the light touches it. Lanoya tapped her lips with her finger. Where to find something that sparkles to mix with white paint for the stone? I wonder if there are any bricks like this. She ran to the outer walls of the palace grounds and placed her hand on them. Unlike the chapel bricks, these were smooth and varied in color, more like actual stones and rocks stuck together with no real pattern to them. Lanoya pursed her lips and sighed. There has to be a place to get more of those white, sparkly bricks. She rushed back to the learning room. Teacher Lord Humby rocked back and forth in the doorway. She took a deep breath and approached him. Teacher Lord Humby, where can I find some loose bricks like the ones used to build this chapel? Teacher Lord Humby's eyes narrowed, and he bent down, his face level with hers. Brick? I instructed you to draw the wall, not build it. Lanoya swallowed. It glistens when the light touches it. I thought perhaps I could mix that with the white paint. Laughter from the other children rang in her ears, and tears stung her eyes. In the alley I used the stones and sticks, dirt, flowers, cloth, anything I could find to make my creations come to life. It is the only way I know how to create works of art. If Teacher Lord Humby is such a great teacher, why does he not tell me how it should be done? Teacher Lord Humby hit the wall with his fist. Quiet. Lanoya built a castle out of flowers and mud. If she wants to make a painting with bricks, she is welcome to try. He stared down at her. However, it has been my experience that brick does not make good paint. Besides, the bricks used to build this chapel came from Thayer's. It is 3 suns' ride from here, and you only have 2 suns to create something that resembles a wall. Lanoya furrowed her eyebrows. I am from Thayer's. It is less than a sun from here. There are no stones that look like this. Lord Humby scoffed. So now I am a liar? You have the opportunity to learn about your power and to improve your skills, and instead you ignore everything I've tried to teach you, and you call me a liar. He pointed down the corridor. I said you would not last more than 2 moons. I am, however, surprised you would decide to leave after 1 sun. Lanoya curled her lips over her teeth and blinked back her tears. She surveyed the other learners, some laughing, some averting their eyes, and some pretending not to notice. She shook her head and ran down the corridor. I did not ask to come to this place. He was lying. He did not try to teach me anything. If they all have this energy or power to draw, to build, and to replicate what they see, then none of them appreciate it, especially not that old man, Teacher Lord Humby. I hate this place. At least in Thayer's, no one pretended to be nice or said they were trying to help. She ran out of the chapel and toward the gate. Her vision blurred, but she kept going until she bumped into something. Lanoya looked up at an angry guard. She recognized his gruff voice. It was Eustace. Attempting to leave again? And what will the king say to that? Lanoya sobbed. The king said if she got in any more trouble, he would send her away. It is not fair. I did not do anything, and I am being punished for everything. Eustace patted her shoulders. You know I cannot let you leave. Tell me what I can do so you will stop crying. Lanoya closed her eyes and steadied her breath. She cleared her throat and lied. I have to find bricks that match the chapel walls, or I will not be allowed to eat. I have no ideas where to look, and no one will help me. Eustace smiled down at her. If bricks are all you are after, there is a whole pile of them behind the stables. Lanoya forced a smile. Thank you. She brushed back her tears and headed across the courtyard. That seemed too easy. I hope he was not lying too. There has to be a way out by the stables, or perhaps a place to hide and maybe draw something.